And
sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. I imagine that it's a bit of a difficult, decision to make on like how to pivot and when to pivot, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So then when you did pivot, you then pivoted into a health-focused Q&A app in 2014. Can you tell us what inspired that?
Well, actually, it's not a kind of Q&A site. It's not a kind of Q&A based website. It's a kind of media for healthcare.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, let me elaborate on why we chose such a field. Because 2013 to 2014 was an ample opportunity for startups because a number of smartphones was increasing. So it's a kind of boom. So vast number of feature phone user in Japan, feature phone was a major phone at the time. So at that time, the huge number of users changed from feature phone to smartphones, and they are tend to be a kind of young people. So but website is optimized for feature phone or computer site, so PC. So that's why there are no big media for smartphones at that time in Japan.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So that's why, there is a kind of blue ocean. So as a startup, we decided to focus on smartphone media.
Mm-hmm.
And then as for the industry, everyone concerned about healthcare, right? So that's why, it's including us. So that's why we decided to focus on the healthcare because the market should be huge.
Mm-hmm.
So then we write a kind of article for healthcare problems, and we created a number of web pages for healthcare for smartphones. So this is a kind of one pivot process of becoming Mamali.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And so then I'm told that after writing about 400 articles on your website, you learned something new on how you can get mothers at the beginning of labor to be rushed to the hospital. And so was this now the beginning of Mamari, the app? Can you tell us more about that for some of us that don't have a background on this app?
Well, actually, we didn't have a background, but we found, as you said, there was one article. The article is for taxi for pregnant moms. So the article got a huge number of accesses. So okay, we found there is certain needs. Okay, then I asked, we tried to ask this question. So what is your needs, or why did you access this page or something like that? And then we dig into the this problem. And then we found, there is a certain problem, and everyone's when the process of becoming mom, everyone concerned about what should I do, or what can I connect the same situation, the person who has same situation or something like that. So there are certain needs. So that's why we decided to focus on the kind of detailed problem.
And at the time, what was different about your offering? Like, how were you, setting yourself apart from the competitors?
Well, as for the competitors, we have two strengths. The first is maybe speed, because as I said, in 2013 to 2014, there is that timing was a kind of transition from feature phone to smartphone, and young people changed the smartphone from feature phone to smartphone. But as a big company, decision maker is a kind of older than kind of younger person. It's not startup. So traditional company kind of board of directors cannot make a decision, or let's make this service for smartphone site or something like that. So that's why we could focus on smartphone first, and then we try to iterate. We try to make improvement continuously and speedily. So this is
okay,
most
wow.
important thing.
Yeah, that's actually it's quite a nice, from beginnings understanding of how you've developed your idea and your decision making. And now it's over to Johan, who's going to speak more on the growth, right?
Exactly, growth and a bit of funding. And as I've understood from reading up on you and your journey, that after you launched Mamari in 2015, you guys raised approximately $1.25 million from two major capital or venture capital firms and a few angel investors. And the question is here, was it always a goal for you guys? Like, how did the decision making of going for venture capital look like, and how did you build that kind of relationship with the investor? How long did it take from actually getting an introduction or starting to talk with the investor until you had the deal done? And now looking back at the investment you had, what kind of things would you like to bring forward to other entrepreneurs in the same situation or embarking on that kind of journey?
Well, that's a good question and long questions.
Sorry about that.
No worries, no worries. Yeah, let me sort this kind of questions. Your first question is so let me answer. So how do we make a relationship between us and VCs? Am I correct?
Yeah.
And second, okay, let me answer this first. So as for the fundraising relationship, we attended a kind of pitch event. And then we try to connect seed round investors and potential Series A investors, because as for the seed round is a kind of entrepreneur deal. So I think idea is very important, but more than important thing is entrepreneur themselves. So seed investor, including me, I'm now an angel investor, looking about entrepreneurs themselves. So idea can be pivot, like us. So we created Creati, but our idea was changed after 2 years later. So pre-seed and seed round. So VCs and kind of angel investors would like to see who is the entrepreneur. So what kinds of entrepreneur or something like that. So that's why we try to appeal ourselves to the investors directly. So went to pitch event and talk one-on-one session or something like that. So this is sorry.
Yes, sorry. And from those pitch events, how long did it take until you actually had the money in the bank, or like how long was that process of meeting the investors?
Is it a kind of, you mean the due diligence process and term?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It's depending on the series. Yeah. Let me share my examples. For example, in our case, at the seed round, my first investor at the previous company was Tatsuro Son. Tatsuro Son is a little brother of Son Masayoshi. Son Masayoshi is CEO of SoftBank. So the young brother, Tatsuro Son, invested in me after pitching after acceleration program. So he held an acceleration program, and then he also has a fund. So if I pass their acceleration program, we could get 50K, around 50K USD. So the first fundraising was just went to the applied acceleration program, and then we got 50K. So the term is maybe just I pitched 2 times, and then that's all. I think only 2 times, maybe. Only pitched 2 times. Sorry, my co-founder pitched because I was a CTO. So maybe CEO pitched. And as for the Series A, so after we got seed round, and then we got around 1.2 or $3 million USD at the Series A. So Series A, maybe we continuously talk with potential Series A VC people, and after entering due diligence process, we didn't take a long time, maybe only 1 month, maybe only 1 month, because we already had a good connection with potential Series A investors. So that's why we know each other very well. So of course there are some kind of, how can I say, annoying tasks, for example, a paper task or something like that. But just only there are. Maybe we should prepare. We prepare for these kinds of papers. That's all, because we already know each other. And the most important thing is product growth. Product is growing. So that's why it's a kind of evidence to the VCs.
Yeah, super. And from all this knowledge and everything you've been through with due diligence processes and having a chat with investors, what's the most important things that you should be at least avoiding whilst fundraising VCs? What can you take with you from those processes and give back to other entrepreneurs now?
Thank you. Yes, it's a great question. Well, yeah, looking back my case, yeah, I believe the most important thing is we should share our vision and mission with your potential partner. So the relationship would be kind of long term. So please check you can share your vision and mission with your potential partner. It's a kind of similar to hiring. So because after Series A, we will continue our journey normally. So yeah, thankfully we got M&A after Series A, but some startup would be Series B, Series C, or something like that. So the journey would be long. So we needed to share our vision and mission, and the relationship should be good in the long run. And technically, you should not involve a short-term fund. So yeah, let me share an example. So VC has a limit. So normally the fund have to return investment money to their LPs. So normally it's in my knowledge, normally it's 7 to 10 years. So if the fund raised money recently, it's good because the fund has time. But because if already the fund passed already 2 or 3 years, it can only wait 5 to 7 years. So it's short, more than the kind of brand new VCs, so brand new funds. So I think technically the point is important for early startups. Does it make sense?
Yeah, super. I think it's really useful information for the persons and the startups to bring with them. I have another question actually, and we were kind of going into it before on growth. Mm-hmm. So you guys went from start to around 7 million active users monthly, if I'm correct. Yeah. Which is an amazing journey. How did that really, like, how did you go from 0 to 7 million in such a short time? How was your strategy acquiring the users? What started, like, when did you actually see the exponential growth that you need to reach 7 million users? And how did you really start that?
Thank you. Good question also. Well, I think there is no kind of smart reasons. There are a mix of some reasons, but I can say there are two big things. The first is timing. In Japan, the number of smartphone users skyrocketed immediately 2013 to 2014. So we rode on the kind of this wave. So that's why the number of smartphone users was growing. Then our product also growing. So this was the most, I think, the big thing at the time. This is one thing. And second is focus. We focused on the product, and we didn't monetize for almost 2 years. So we didn't take any resource for monetization since we were a small team. So they were only around 10 people on the growth phase. So we had 50% engineers. So I mean, five engineers, including me. So we invested these resources only for product improvement. So we focused on product improvement and improve daily, hourly, deploy product, and then almost hourly maybe. Yeah, deploy daily, commit, and then try to improve product. So I think the second point is also worked.
That's super. So stay focused, more or less. Stay focused and true to your product. That's super. And over those, like after these two years in 2016, you got acquired by KDDI or KDDI or KDDI. KDDI, a Japanese telecom company. From launching in 2014 to 2016, this is quite the fast journey. This is more or less the startup journey in exponential growth. How was the thought in your founding team? Like, what made you take the decision on saying, okay, we would like to sell our company, or what kind of made that decision clear to you guys?
Well, this is also a good question. Yes, actually, there were other possibilities. For example, when to go public, go IPO, or some other M&A acquire or something like that. But finally, we decided to join KDDI Group because we wanted to make our product like infrastructure. So this was also our mission, and to become such a service, some kind of infrastructure service. So we thought KDDI is the best partner for us because they are a telecom company. So it's also like a kind of infrastructure. At that time, also they wanted to expand their services other than telecom services. So the timing was good for each other. So then we decided to join.
Super. And coming from these, as you told before, coming from this small team of like half of you guys were engineers, and being 10 persons or so, what kind of challenges did you guys face whilst doing a due diligence process for this large company that is acquiring you? Like, how was that process, and how did that feel for you guys?
Well, yeah, good question. To be honest, it was tough, just tough. Since we are a startup, right? So as I said, we should focus on our product, and me and the CEO Shun had to continue hard work for product as usual to grow our product, because we don't want to stop our product. On top of that, we had to prepare documents for due diligence. You know, it's a kind of traditional way. We have to make a contract. We had to prepare for the audit or something like that. So it's a kind of double work. So startup tend not to have a clear doc. So yeah, it was tough. So then finally we did it. But yeah, this was maybe kind of our kind of a tough journey, tough thing, I think. But it was also fun because that was also first experience for us. We didn't know anything about due diligence as for M&A. So, but that process was very unique experience, I think.
And just like you're saying, it's not a lot of us that has experienced M&A process on hand. What are the key things to take away, or telling other founders from your situation and going through that kind of process before?
Well, yeah, good question. In my opinion, the process is tough, but it's okay. It's just if you do it correctly, maybe you can do that. But the most important thing is please talk and share your mission and vision with your potential acquirer. So if you agree this point, maybe you can go over everything. But if you didn't agree, but once you sell, maybe the M&A will fail maybe. So this is the most important thing, I think.
Super thing to bring with you. And for my last question, it's about after you've been acquired, you join KDDI and work there, if I'm correctly. How is it going from two different kind of worlds, going from this small team that you spoke about, going into these large corporation? How was that merger? What did you face that was challenging, and also giving up your kind of baby, if I could say so, and giving it to someone else? What kind of challenges did you face there?
Yeah, great question. And yeah, sometimes I got the same question in this kind of event. Well, right. Yeah, sometimes it's difficult to say, but this is the challenge is gap between startup and traditional company. So as you said, so this is a kind of merge, the merger of two worlds. So each company has each culture. So it was tough, but the challenge was traditional company, the decision making is generally slow. So and the startup is the quick, fast, because it is one of the values. So this was a kind of big challenge, big kind of conflict between startup and traditional company. And also the other problem was it's difficult to find a decision maker. So sometimes it takes time more than I expected. So for example, if I want to create a business, and so then yeah, let's talk about this idea with my parents' company. So who is a key person? Who is decision maker? So traditional company has big organization, and each department has each kind of culture and each rules. So sometimes it's difficult to find the right person inside of the parents' company. So this is quite a big problem. So maybe we should talk about the kind of decision maker before M&A or during M&A process. We should find a right person to push forward our business.
Super, and I think that is super important to bring with you as well, like finding your key person within the large company, no matter what. Thank you so much for answering my questions, and I'll give the word to Zhenni. And thank you so much for the amazing answers.
My pleasure. But may I? Hi, Zhenni.
Yes, please.
Hi. May I add one thing? So yeah, if my answer is not clear, so please let me know anytime from any audiences. I want to answer honestly and correctly in this session. So please don't hesitate to ask me anytime.
Yes, so I will continue with some of the questions of your post-acquisition journey. So after you left the KDDI, you travel around the world, you visit like 40 different countries, 60 different cities. And I think within 1 year, you invested like 20 companies worldwide. So like, can you before we dive into details, can you tell a little bit about a little bit of your angel investing strategy? So what kind of tech sectors are you looking for, and what is your ticket size?
Well, as for the sector, tech sector, I don't have any kind of specific preference sector. So just I'm looking for an ambitious founder. So this is my kind of criteria. And about the ticket size, my ticket size is 20K to 50K normally. Yeah, of course there is some exceptional things, but yeah, normally it's 20K to 50K.
And as you are investing in companies worldwide, so how do you scout deals, in the global startup scene?
Yeah. Thankfully, I went worldwide tour 2019, so before COVID-19. So that's why I could I could go all of countries and cities directly. And so I could meet founders directly, and the most of them were coming from references. So for example, Zhenni introduced me to good founders in Sweden or something like that. So my friend introduced me to someone, and then someone introduced me to someone or something like that. So most of them come from reference.
And now with the more than 20 companies in your portfolio, so how do you manage the startups, and how do you follow up with the founders? Do you have any specific way to do that?
Well, actually, I don't have specific ways, but for example, if entrepreneurs ask me, so I'll reply anytime. So I don't push anything because I'm not a kind of I'm not a fund, and I'm not a kind of greedy fund manager. So kind of just I can enjoy and learn from their startup journey. So I don't have kind of any kind of pushing something. But if entrepreneur asks me, so yeah, anything I want to share with my experience. For example, my values are share my startup experience. So I created 7 million users platform, and I experienced exit. And on top of that, I could share technical advice. I got PhD, and my major is AI machine learning. So this is also kind of add value thing. And the third is connect Japanese market and big company as for the fundraising and M&A. So these were kind of my maybe add value. And yeah, on top of the Japanese network, I got a global network thanks to my journey. So that's why it's easy to share my portfolio's activity to my network. So as a result, for example, Finnish startup Attractive AI got fundraising from other Japanese angel investor. And in the US, Alex Diet from maybe New York. So the startup got investment from Japan also because I introduced him. But these were just entrepreneurs are great. I just nudge them as a supporter, as a first angel investor.
So we know that out of your portfolio companies, a very large percentage are based in Africa. And we can see that both the Chinese investors and Japanese investors, they started to put more capital investing in early stage tech companies in Africa. So what made you become so interested in the emerging market, especially in Africa? And what are some of the interesting startups can you share with us that you have invested in Africa?
Sure, that's also a good question. Well, yeah, actually, I invested 8 African startups because the African market is not mature. So there are lots of challenges in Africa. And that's why startup can be an infrastructure of Africa. I believe that kind of future. So this is the reason why I invested 8 startups in Africa. And yeah, let me elaborate on it with an example. one of my portfolio company, Flare. Maybe I posted about Flare in my blog, but more detail. Flare is a kind of emergency number for African continent. So maybe in Nordic country, Sweden and Japan has emergency number. In the America, maybe 911. So if you got accident in the car, as a car accident, then there may be the car driver called ambulance. Maybe 15 minutes or 1 year, the ambulance will come. It's a developed country, it's normal. But in Africa, for example, in Nairobi, if you had a car accident, the driver have to call each hospital, not the 911. They have to call each hospital, and then some hospitals refuse the request because already the ambulance dispatch, they don't have any kind of the next one. So that's why the driver have to find a ambulance by themselves. So as a result, it takes 3 hours or 4 hours. Maybe the driver will die, right? I cannot believe it. No, because Japan has a kind of good maybe infrastructure for emergency response. So, but in Africa, 54 countries there are in Africa, but 52 countries don't have 911, don't have emergency number. So now Flare is creating emergency number for Africa. So now they are operating in Nairobi, and they have a Flare number. And so they give a kind of insurance model. So if employees contract with Flare, so employees can call Flare anytime. So maybe from Nordic countries, a startup Uber startup Bolt. Yeah, Bolt is one of the customer of Flare. So Bolt driver can call Flare anytime, something like that. So this company would like to be an infrastructure of Africa. So now their business is now expanding to the Ghana. So I believe their journey will success. So these kinds of startups there are in Africa. So instead of the government, instead of the big company, startup can be infrastructure of Africa. That's the main reason to invest.
That's super interesting. And I also want to touch upon a little bit about the South American market as well, because we have a founder here from Colombia today.
Ah, cool.
Yeah, so just share with us one interesting startups you have invested in South America, and why did you do that?
Well, as for LATAM investment, I invested 2 startups. One is from Mexico and one is from Colombia. Yeah, coincidentally. Yeah, let me introduce Colombian startup. The startup is Coru, C-O-R-U. And Coru lets people hire actors, athletes, as artists, and celebrities of all types create a personalized video message in LATAM. So in the US, there is a similar business model. It is maybe the name is Cameo. Yeah, the call is for LATAM. So everybody has suffered from a current quarantine situation made by COVID-19. So it's including celebrities, but they can entertain customers from home and have a new revenue stream with Coru. So, but on top of the business model, I like founder, Fedo, the founder of Coru Technologies, CEO, and he has a global view. He worked at Israeli VC, and yeah, so talented, promising person. I believe him and his team. So they will release their product soon. So I invested before releasing their product. Just I believe founders.
And of course, you have also invested in one company in Helsinki, Attractive.ai. I met the founder of the company, and he's like huge
Really?
Japanese fan. Yes,
Yeah,
in one of
have you met Chris?
Yes, in one of the conference. Yes, he had like this Japanese booth in the conference to show that how much he loves Japan. But yeah, like I'm just wondering that so what made you invest in that particular company? Was it also because the founder himself, or what are the other reasons that you make one investment in the Nordic countries?
Well, that's because founder. The Chris is a serial entrepreneur. He founded Holby. Have you ever heard it? Yeah, Holby is a kind of fintech company. And Holby was acquired by maybe Spanish big traditional bank, I think, 2016 or 17. And yes, he's so energetic. I like his character. And he's also a kind of global person. He wanted to make a service and expand globally. So just I believed him, and it has big potential to be a global company.
Yeah, and you talked about how Japan's GDP forecast in 2015 will fall from its current third place to eighth. And you talk about the big trend is going to be look at overseas market, and the Nordic market is very small. And so what is your advice for the founders here? Should they be focused on the Nordic market first and then global, or should they start thinking, global from the very, very beginning?
Well, yeah, I think it depends on the product, but at least you should think global at the beginning of your journey. So local market can be a test market, but once to optimize your local market, the product cannot be global. So yeah, for example, language or kind of something depending on the cultural background or something like that. So if you optimize it, so maybe the product is difficult to expand. So I think the important thing is to think about global initially. How do we can be global or something like that?
Yeah, we are running. Yes, Tatsu.
Sorry, can I continue?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, and technically, I recommend to make a website in English because yeah, some local startup made in the local language, but global VC and like global angel investor cannot lead a local language, so should make a homepage, a website in English. So I respect Nordic startups since they are great technology startups. So Sweden, Spotify and Klarna from Sweden, Unity from Denmark, and Kahoot from Norway, and Supercell Rovio from Finland. So this company would be born from Nordic countries. So I respect them. So yeah, so that's why Nordic has big potential.
Yeah, so we're running out of time here. We'll leave some time for questions from the founders. So whoever has a question, you can unmute yourself and ask the question, and we will end this session in a few minutes to have a coffee break. And then we will have the presentation from Hetch and then the startup pitching.
Sorry for my long answer.
That's totally okay. Yeah, I'm just wondering if any of the founder in the...
Thank you. First of all, I like the Pokemon stuff.
Me.
But I would like to understand, why are you investing? What's like your motivation? What's your incentives? Why are you doing it at all?
Good question. I want to be also a global entrepreneur, and now I am starting up again, so I can learn from my portfolio companies. So this is my most important motivation for angel investment. So to be honest, of course I want to get return, but this is a second goal. So my first goal is to learn something from entrepreneur's journey.
All right, thanks.
My pleasure.
Tatsu, thank you for this really interesting presentation. Hello. One question regarding when you were acquired. Could you elaborate a bit on how it looked like in terms of you staying on? Were you still like, were you completely absorbed, or were you still an own company and this bigger company just had the majority and you stayed the CTO, or how was the structure?
Well, the structure was quite simple. Our parent company got 100% stock from us, and then I kept the position as a CTO, and then I did post-merger integration for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I quit my job, and then I went worldwide tour, and now I'm thinking startup again.
Okay.
That am I answering your question correctly?
Yeah, perfectly, basically. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Okay, my pleasure.
Does anybody else have any question?
Well, I can ask another one. I would like to know: have you done any exits from your startup companies, or are everyone still in run mode?
That's a good question. I got finally I got one exit, maybe. Yeah, last year one of my portfolio got exit. Yeah, it was super early, but my company was acquired by a big company.
All right. And I have to ask, of course, also, do you run any startup right now yourself?
Yeah. Now I am thinking startup again. Just I made a company.
Cool.
Thank you.
So you
and
only,
I can talk.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so you only registered the company, but you haven't started anything yet.
Just I'm researching now. Just I created my own company, and then now I am thinking about the ideas. And doing Pokemon Go.
I have a question that is more focused towards our own company. So what is your standpoint on social media and the way that social media affects our society?
Sorry, could you say that again? Sorry, what is standpoint?
What is your opinion on social media and how do you view social media nowadays?
That's a interesting question. Social media. Well, I think the meaning of social media is sorry, not meaning. The existing influence. Yeah, I mean, influence of social media is becoming, because we cannot communicate with each other directly because of the COVID-19. So social media has big influence, but at the same time, we cannot understand the kind of real situation and real information from social media sometimes, because they are just opinions, sometimes not fact. So that's why it's difficult to take correct information. So I think to see social media, maybe we should take care of the information is true or not, or is it opinion or fact or something like that. So maybe the viewers' literacy will more required. And on top of that, we should, if you'd like to get exact information, you should be in a circle of the community. I think Malmö has a great community for startups, and I also have community in my portfolio company. So that's why I can get exact information from globally. Yeah, from Colombia, from Mexico, from Africa, because my portfolio company's founders also a friend, just not a portfolio friend. They are friends. They are reliable entrepreneurs. So that's why I can ask anything. And hopefully, I want to communicate all of these audiences, and I want to join this Malmö community also.
So we have one question from the audience, Ula. is asking what kind of return do you expect for angel investment?
That's a great question. I'm not sure because the result is not shown. Still it's ongoing, right? The only one exit I got, but only one. Now maybe over 25. I'm not sure, to be honest, about 25 portfolios. But as I said, I don't expect kind of huge returns. So if you'd like to get a return shortly, maybe you should invest only developed country or maybe China or India or something like that. But I have long-term long-term strategy, not strategy, I think, long-term vision. So I believe African future, I believe Latin American future, and I believe kind of technology stuff from Nordic and other areas. So I don't need kind of short-term return. So I want to get a long-term return. Of course, it's including kind of as an investment. I want to get return as for the money perspective. But on top of that, the most important thing is experience. I want to get experience with entrepreneurs. So that's why I don't expect any kind of monetization, kind of monetized investment return. Does it make sense? Am I answering, Ola?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, he didn't reply yet, but we have one last question, and then we will take a break. Is that how the audience asking how does the COVID situation affect your investment plan last year and this year forward?
Also good question. Well, no, actually no. The answer is no. My investment strategy is to invest entrepreneur, so it's not affected by COVID-19. So recently I decided my one investment. It done it with all of the process was remotely, but it's okay. There's no problem for me.
Well, cool, guys. Thank you so much for the first session. We'll take a 5 minutes break, and we'll be back here at 1 minute past 3, and then we'll start with the starter pitch and the most exciting part. Yes. So yes, guys, we'll be back in 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, hey guys, welcome back. Let's wait a little bit for everybody. I guess no coffee break for Tatsu, and we have our coffee here.
Yeah, now it's 10 p.m. So, sorry, yeah, 11 p.m. So I should not drink coffee, but it's okay. It's okay. No problem.
We'll get you a beer next time.
Okay. Definitely.
When you come down to Malmö, yeah, we have lots of a nice bar and the restaurant here, right, guys? You guys we have lots of entrepreneurs here from Malmö.
Nice.
Yes, yes.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, you have a question.
Yeah, actually, but you don't have time maybe. So please proceed.
Yeah, so hey guys, welcome back. We will start with the awesome presentation from Johan and Hetch, and I leave the floor to you, Johan.
Yeah, hi everyone. So I'm going to do a short intro to Hetch and what Hetch is about. Zhenni, how should I do when swapping slides? Can I swap slides or? Super. So I'll just say, okay, well, next slide then. So we're on a mission to help as much of the regional startups as possible and support the community, because our main focus is actually building the community and gathering great people with a vision under one and the same roof, so they can, even if their first startup doesn't work out, we have the right competences and help them out with the next one. They can jump in another team. So if we gather great people under one roof, there will be a lot of amazing stuff happening. So next slide. Yeah, so this is the ecosystem. So unfortunately, this is in Swedish due to it was just a normal picture. So congrats, Tatsu. Here's some Swedish words. So yeah, well, Hetch is a collaboration, or not a collaboration, perhaps, but a hub that connects all of these different parts. So we got the incubator, established innovation companies from the large companies. We got tech companies, as in companies that are up and running with their own revenue, standing on their own legs. We got a accelerator helping companies in early stages, going from perhaps 0 to their first 10, 20 customers. Open office, pop-up office to help people kind of take the steps toward entrepreneurship and starting up an idea. We also got a investment network and a few other kind of formal investors connected to us as Hetch. And we got a lot of education, not only for the startups, but we're looking into actually trying to help and educate the investors as well, trying to learn them about what is a startup and how do you really, what can you expect from investing in one of them, and a supportive network. So next slide. Yeah, short about Hetch. These are our three main focus areas: the incubator, the accelerator, and the office. So the incubator is a supportive organization or network where you can work on your company from 0 to 24 months. So yeah, 2 years, where you more or less free of charge, and you get the support from the community at Hetch and the persons that is employed by Hetch as well, with very special qualifications. And we have the accelerator program, a 6-month long program that helps your business go from idea to actually being a business, perhaps ready to scale up, start up, perhaps taking in external money, and so on. And the office, which is more or less just, as I told you guys before, gathering a lot of really awesome people and creative people under one and the same roof, and then we'll see what's happened, more or less. So yeah, next slide. Yeah, so the community, at the moment we're 37 startups placed at Hetch. There's 49 in Hetch. around 140 people and 10 partners, as in already established companies connected to us, more or less. Yep, next slide. Yeah, so a bit more about what we actually can give the startups when they come into our environment. Well, as I told you before, the accelerator program, the incubator, but we also got 2 other parts involved in this. So we got Project X, which is a 8-week-long program for already established companies that want to either get their personnel a bit more into the innovation part, or kind of try out new products that they really don't have time for in their own organization, or have problem trying to lift up in their own organization. And we got Loop Capital, which is a investment company focused on Skåne, to help young and new entrepreneurs get their first investment and perhaps their first way on building their mission or building their vision company. So next slide. And yeah, next one. We can skip 2. Next one again. Super. And where are we placed? We actually just moved to Prisma House out in the harbor of Helsingborg. So we placed out there. We got 3 floors for that is facilitating our startups and tech companies, and we're looking into growing even more, hopefully during the years. But this is a start, at least, with the 3,000 square meters of more or less startup and tech space, gathering the best persons in the northwestern parts of Skåne. So that's the short introduction to Hetch and what we can help startups with. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to either give me a ping on LinkedIn, send me an email, one of my colleagues an email, or just visit our website and get in touch. We're more than happy to help you guys out. Thank you so much. And thank you, Startup Skåne, for a really nice event so far.
Yeah, thank you, Hetch. Thank you, Johan, for the presentation. Now we will start with the startup presentation. So for the first one, we have Nela from ProgressMe. Nela, are you here? Yes, I see you.
Yes, I am here.
So nice.
So nice
Yes.
event. Thank you for inviting me to this. So you can already start with the next slide, actually. All right. I bet you can't see my scars. In fact, they are not visible, but they are deep and they still hurt. And what I am talking about here is my eating disorder that not only affected me, but also a big part of my family and a big part of my life. The help that I have been gotten from the Swedish healthcare was very focused on calories and food, something that I already knew everything about. Next. This experience that I got from the healthcare made me also realize that something was missing. And when I started to focus on my self-esteem and my self-image, I started also to feel a lot better. And this is the background of ProgressMe and why I started it. Next. Eating disorders leads to consequences such as poor attendance in school, extreme individual need for control, other form of mental illness, severe health problems, and sometimes even death. And also what I want to say here is that eating disorders is the most common mental illness for you to take your life. Studies also prove that people with better self-esteem tend to suffer from eating disorders to a lesser degree. And this is something we at ProgressMe are working for. Next. We at ProgressMe offer evidence-based digital tools to strengthen self-esteem among young people, developed together with psychologists and behaviorists. All our methods are based on cognitive behavior therapy, which is scientifically proven and data-driven. By working to strengthen self-esteem and self-confidence, we not only help people who have an eating disorder, but we also reduce the risk of develop one. And at this time, we have a beta version of our app where we are having like more than 5,000 downloads at the moment. And we launched the beta app in September, and we haven't been like putting any cost on marketing or anything. So we can see like this is a market that is growing so much, and this is a big problem, like not only in Sweden, but worldwide. Next. So what we are working with at the moment, we are not only using the app for the people who are having an eating disorder, but we are also focusing on relatives because we can see that the first stage that you are taking when you actually are trying to like get a diagnosis or so on, you need to have a relative or a parent with you. And we have also been building a SaaS model for healthcare providers, which we are selling on the market at the moment. Next. Yeah, and like there is no other company worldwide that is working with this problem, which means that we are the only solution at the moment working with eating disorders in a digital way. We have been doing research for 2 years, and we have also been talking to other like healthcare providers that is working with like digital solutions and so on, and they don't even want to work with these kind of patients because they are thinking that the market it's so heavy and it's so hard to work with this kind of people that is they are not taking them like seriously because they are often very young and they are women, which is a big problem, and that is what we are trying to solve. So we want to be the bridge from the like first stage when you're coming in and searching for help for until when you're getting the specialist health care. Yes, next. And yeah, I have a team right now. We are having experiences within like both marketing, since we are focusing on building a big community when it comes to young people, and we want to work in a new kind of way. But we are also having the tech within the team. So yeah, next. We haven't, as I said before, we haven't been using any money on the marketing, but we are growing with 40% per day. We are having over 5K downloads without marketing and over 3K members on our web forum, which is mostly like for relatives, but we are also working so that you can like receive help from a person who has been going through the same struggle as you have been doing. Next. Yeah, and our timeline, like I made this timeline today, but I can see that we have already been finishing most of the things now. So the next thing that we need to focus on is the app launch for relatives, which we will be finished like next month, I think. So we will focus on getting as much traction as possible and also reach new markets. Next. Yeah, and right now we are raising 5 million Swedish crowns. And I think that we will mostly like put it in marketing right now, since I can see that our CTO, he is working very well. We have also been taking in a new person within tech. So yeah, next. Yeah. And yeah, let's keep in touch if you're interested. We are also sitting at the ground. I am sitting in Barcelona at the moment, but I am coming home next month. So yeah, this is how far we have gotten so far.
Yeah, Nella, thank you so much for the presentation. And we
Yes.
have a few minutes for the questions. And
Yes.
Tatsu, do you have any questions?
Well, yeah, the product is, I think there is certain needs, because I checked the App Store's review. The review was, the rate was great. So definitely there is certain needs. But how do you make your business scalable and more bigger than now?
At the moment, we are selling the SaaS model to healthcare providers, which means that we are having like different regions in Sweden that is paying for the SaaS model. And we are having different, like, so if one psychologist, for example, are having 3 patients, they are paying per patient, or they are paying per psychologist. But we want to make it as free as possible for the person who is affected of an eating disorder, so they will not be the paying user. I
see. Yeah, I think that's a good strategy. Some of the similar product is selling their product to the kind of insurance company or some big companies. It's a kind of B2B2C model. So exactly. Maybe that, yeah, that works well, I think.
Thank you so much for saying that. It has been so many people saying to me before, like, how can you say B2B2C model? And I'm like, yeah, it is a model. But yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And also, like, we are going to have so you are paying per month when it comes to relatives, just because that they can be in contact with the person who is sick, and they can do different kind of exercises together and be connected within the app.
Got it. Thank you for your answers.
Yes.
Yeah, Nella, there's one question from the audience that how have you founded the company so far?
We have 2 funds that we have got investment from. It's Unconventional Ventures and MINC, the incubator. And we also have angel investors, and we have been paid from Vinnova. So we got like a grant of 2.8 million crowns. Yeah, and if there is any company here who needs like help with like grants, I am very happy to like send and give some advices.
Yes, you can see that Tatsu entrepreneurs here in Malmö, they just love helping each other.
Yeah,
that's awesome community.
Yes, just one last question. I'm wondering that what is a question from me that what is your go-to-market strategy when it comes to the international market?
We have already been starting up a team in Canada, because we can see that the eating disorder problem there is very big, and also that is a good way to go into the US market. So I have been setting up a team there. I am sitting in Spain at the moment. We have been translated the app in 5 different languages, which means that we are already having it on the App Store on these markets as well. And I am trying to I am always working, so I can just trying to like set up teams everywhere and get people motivated to work with me. And I also think that when you're working with a startup or a company that is having some sort of impact, and also when it's something that people can relate to, it's very much easier for you to actually get people attracted to what you are doing. So just be kind and just try to like get people involved in your business, and then you will get a lot of help.
Yes, yes, that's very good. And we have to move on to the next presentation
Yes.
from team Get Bay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yes. Team, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay. I will get going. Thank you, Zhenni, for the introduction. So my name is Tim, and I am representing our startup Bay today, which is an app for parents, or a platform that really includes all the necessary features in order to make parenthood a more fun and more social time. First of all, for parents in Sweden, and subsequently in other European countries. Next slide. So what we have done so far, or the app that we have built so far, you can see here. On the left side, you see our Finding Friends feature, where you can, just like popular dating apps, you can filter for other parents based on their age, their gender, their kid's age, and their distance from you. Search to other profiles, and then immediately start chatting, which you can see here in the middle. And then on the right side, we have another feature which is called Forum, where our growing community can ask each other parenting related questions, exchange knowledge, and simply help each other out, so that we become a very, very much growing parenting company, so to say, in this market. Next slide. So I have to admit, compared to Tatsu, our numbers are not so impressive yet, even though we are in a very similar industry. The parenting industry. Since we launched last August, we've gotten 7,100 users so far, with around 600 to 700 daily active users. 85,000 messages have been sent between those users, and on average 42 minutes spent per user in our app. And of course, it makes us super happy if we see these positive reviews in the App Store, where people come to us and tell us, your app has really helped me. I have found a friend for life. My child has found a friend for life. And I mean, that is basically why we have started this project, and that makes us super happy. Next one, yeah. So what comes next? We have a few new features in mind, of course, to keep users longer in the app, to keep them creating more content. But what I also have to say, or what I can say, is we're right now in discussions for some, you could call it an acquisition from a bigger player, or from a bigger Swedish company in the parenting industry. So that is actually what we're mostly working on right now, and then together with them, we will discuss the roadmap ahead. What is super important for us, however, always is that we build the scalable infrastructure. We don't really want to be responsible for the content in the app. We want user-generated content only, basically. Next slide. When it comes to monetization, of course, there's always this question: do you go the freemium way, or do you go marketing collaborations? And we have been very unsure for a long time. Right now, it looks like we will tend towards the collaboration side, because this is the monetization strategy that our future partner, or acquirer, you can say, is already successfully using. So we will be able to jump on that bandwagon and probably use this strategy as well very profitably. Looking at potential markets, we have launched so far only in Sweden. Of course, as Tatsu said before, maybe test in your local market, but then of course you need to have other markets in mind in order to become truly successful. So the markets that we want to go to, preferably all within the next year, are of course the other Nordic markets, because simply the parenting culture is very, very similar, Denmark and Norway. But also very interesting is the German market for us, because I mean, I am German. I also know it is very similar culture-wise to the Nordics. You get parental leave and so on. So we believe that this much larger market could be the next bigger step for us, so to say, out of Sweden. When it comes to competition, there are, as always in life, there's competition for all the different features that we either already have or plan to have in the future. There's a source you can go to for. However, what we want to achieve with Bay is that we want to create an app that the parents really feel safe at, and that they can satisfy all their needs when it comes to parenting, finding friends, asking questions, and then in the future sell and buy used goods, also organize events locally and so on. So we want to become this go-to place for parents. Looking at the team quickly, I can start with my wife, Anna. She has designed the whole app from scratch, UI, UX, everything, and is doing our marketing. She's an experienced marketer. We have Daniel and Frederick, two newly graduated computer science engineers who have built our app from scratch within basically 3-4 months. Myself, my own background is entrepreneurship. Bay is my third startup already. And yeah, I just love building companies, and the more scalable, the better, I would say. And that's also now why I started Bay. And we also have a team, of course, behind the team with our investors. One investment company, Elio Holding from Lund University, and then a board member, Johnny, who is a founder of several big parenting websites in Sweden that are very, very popular. Yeah, okay. So thanks a lot. Let me know if you have any questions. And again, Tatsu, I think what you have done in Japan is fantastic, and it's really, really inspiring. And if I can get even anywhere close to that, I would be so happy. But let's see. Definitely not only in Sweden. I need to venture into some other markets for that. But yeah, thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you, team, for the presentation. And Tatsu, do you have any questions?
Yeah, thank you for your presentation. Yeah, I think quite similar to our product, Mamari. So yeah, definitely there is certain needs, and now you are solving this kind of problem. My question is, how do you differentiate? How do you distinguish between you and other platforms? So in Japan, there is Mamari, we created, and in China, India, there are kind of local these kinds of communities there are, and of course, I know some European competitors, and in the US, of course. So how do you distinguish between them and you?
Yeah, I mean, as you say, or as I also said in the presentation, in order to fulfill different needs, of course, if you, let's say, want to find a local parenting group, at the moment, the first thing people do is they go to Facebook usually and look there for Mama Gruppe, for example. And as I said, what we really want to achieve is that we become this holistic source that includes all these features that parents more and more realize, if I have a need related to parenthood, I want to come to the Bay app, so to say. Of course, there's other competitors, as you say. I guess you know also Peanut in the States, who is very big already doing something similar. So I'm already quite certain we will not try to compete on these markets, but we know that there is nothing really similar in the Central European and Nordic European market. So we want to become that source on those markets simply. And one other thing now related to COVID, it is very common in Sweden and the other Nordic markets that you have these parenting groups when you are a parent or when you are pregnant. The state sends you in those parenting groups where you can mingle, where you can exchange information and so on. But all those groups are canceled right now. And that is also some void that we want to fill, basically.
I understand. Thank you for your answers. Just let me share my one opinion. So if you want to be more kind of bigger startup, you should think about your expansion more earlier, because Sweden has maybe around 10 million population, I think.
Yeah.
Japan has 120 million, so it's 10x. So so I think Germany or some other area are maybe attractive for you. So once once you enter a big market, the potential, I mean, the market size would be bigger than now. So maybe if you be inside of the only Sweden or only Nordic countries, the market is still small.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty optimistic that within 2021 we will be in 3 to 4 other markets. Yeah.
That's great.
So
hope you go well.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Yeah, we have time for one more question. Is there any founders, you have questions for Tim? Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Yes, okay. Yeah, I would more like to say that it would be possible to collaborate in some way. So please contact me after.
Of course,
I think,
thanks.
yeah, perfect. Thank you.
I will do that.
Yeah, I have one question regarding how did this get started? Is this because Anna was going through, is it because you're going through the parenting?
We actually got pregnant, but only 2 months ago, so it's it's not how it started. But we had friends who were in the situation who had 2 small kids. They moved to a new town, and they didn't know anyone, and they told us they felt very lonely, and it was very hard to get in contact with other parents with kids in a similar age. And that's how we started to think about this whole idea and topic, and yeah, went on from there basically. And yeah, now luckily, finally, after 1 year, we also are allowed to use our own app because only parents are allowed to use it.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you so much for the presentation. Now we have the next startup, Hans from Cookie Jar Moments. And it will be 3 of the co-founders presenting, right?
That is correct. I'll present the slides, and then I have 2 co-founders on the call with me. Thanks, Liz and John, who are here to support and answer questions that you may have. Quick question before we start. So how can I go to the next slide on this presentation? Or is it just
say next?
Oh, okay, perfect. Well, welcome to Cookie Jar Moments, and I'll start with the most important factor with most products. It's the team. As you can see, we come from a very diverse background and all across the globe. Currently, we're a team of 10, but this is our core team. We have 4 founders, 2 of which are on call, John and Liz, and Ernst, who is our first employee stock option. Next, please. So I want you to take a moment and think about how many meaningful moments have you spent completely alone? Even during COVID and everything during lockdown, I know my most meaningful moments have been spent with the people I care about. Next, please. Next, please. Thank you. So why is it that there is no easy way? Oh, back one. Thank you. So why is it that there's no easy way to collaboratively capture and share media with the people you care about? One more. Thank you. The giants are missing the point. Traditional social media is self-centered and public. It's very individualistic, and you broadcast to the world. Cloud storage is meant for businesses, and it's relatively cumbersome and impersonal to you as a user in the consumer marketplace. The programs that come on your phone, similar to both iOS and Android, are media specific. They don't have all the different integrations and cross-functionality for media. Finally, messaging services are temporary and chaotic. You don't go onto your WhatsApp, Messenger, Snapchat to organize different types of media to view them later. It's just an endless stream of feed and content. Next, please. Now, what if you could relive your memories in a single tap? Next, please. That brings us to the cookie concept. Oops, one back. Sorry about that. That brings us to the cookie concept. You first capture a moment. You can do it within our app, or you can do it externally on your phone's camera or any other media service. Finally, you can cross-collaborate on the app and make it very easy to upload various types of content. 3, this is where the magic happens. You can invite your friends and let them contribute to the same event or cookie, as we call it. Finally, you can create these cookies and sort them into jars or albums to be viewed later. So instead of Google Drive folders and folders, think of it as cookies in jars. Next. So why now? The era of anti-social media is upon us. We have been seeing growth in campfire type communication, and people want a safe space where they can communicate with the people they care about. Various studies have been brought to light to show that people are very tired of traditional social media, and they're looking for a product just like this in order to organize and view media with the people they care about. I think we all know how detrimental social media can be due to influence and your own personal health and mental well-being. And if I highlight the film Social Dilemma in case you haven't seen it. Next, please. So where are we at right now? We have a current organic social growth of 12,000 people across social media, ironically. We have an email subscriber base of over 2,000 emails. We have international IP and legal protection, both in the US and in Europe. We have many different partners and sponsors, which have been very helpful with our growth, funding, various aspects. We have a student ambassador network located in the US that's been extensive and growing. That's been helping us with various types of informative outreach and all the benefits of technology in your mental health. We have also organically grown our team with partnerships from the Student Ambassador Network to over 20 people have gone and touched our product and been a part of it. Next, please. So what is our product milestones? Well, it's an incredibly exciting time because we are actually releasing our closed beta next week, where we will onboard 100 users and very, very niche, check out the demographics and how different people use it. We will then go through various product iterations. We want to open our beta in April 2021. We have a market entry strategy for that open beta where you can only invite people with cookies so that they can then get into the app. We're not going to publicly release anything like that in the near term. And then finally, we are working on a web platform. The designs are finished and we'll be working on implementing that. So this spring is very, very exciting on the product, and I'd be happy to answer questions shortly on that. Next, please. So we're a startup. How do we make money? Well, we know until anyone gets their hands on the app and starts using it very, very intensively, we need to have multiple revenue patterns. Our main focus is to be a freemium. We want to limit certain features and for a subscription fee similar to Spotify. We are testing different in-app purchases and customizable options. And finally, if everything else fails, we will do a traditional advertising model where a user has to opt in. We will not try to hide and broadcast advertising similar to traditional platforms, but be very upfront, informative about the pros and cons of accepting advertising. This ties into our freemium model mentioned number one. Next, please. Our investment target and timeline. Currently, we are bootstrapping. We have founders, friends, and sponsors, I'd say. We've gotten to 50K. That's helping us with our current runway and a lot of dev support. We are looking right now for a March investment target of $250,000 US. We have 2 different development partners in place, of which both are working on a promise and a loan for an angel investment coming in the spring. And then finally, next year, we'd like to go into formal seed funding with almost all of the focus being in dev support to start, and then slowly, as we receive more funding, ramp to marketing, because we know how competitive the space is and how much money you need just to enter due to marketing constraints. Next, please. So in summary, we have a great founding team, diverse backgrounds. We have seen great traction. We're in a relevant market, and we have a clear path to launch, of which we've been hitting our milestones, and we're excited to show you our next product iteration soon. I will onboard any interested parties in about a month's time with our beta. I know, Zhenni, you've been interested, and I will get you some very exciting product iterations. Thank you. And any questions?
Yes, Tatsu, I think we have time for one question. And do you have any questions?
Yeah, I have one question. So yeah, the product looks very beautiful. I like it. So as for the growth, how do you grow rapidly? So this type of apps is purely to the consumer service. So the most important thing is growth. So how do you do that?
Liz or John, do you want me to answer that? Or John, looks like you want to answer it.
Yeah, I was just confused at who's that question targeted to. So due to our current status of the application, we want to ensure that we actually build something that is necessary for the people that are using it. So we are keeping it very close in our beta program. So the organic growth that Hans mentioned is only during our beta phase. We want to nail our product and then release it. And at some point, this invite only through cookies, like the Clubhouse kind of model work, is something that we would like to hop into as well. But of course, at some point, if we have our product on point, which will always take some time, we will definitely open the platforms for people to sign up. Yes. So, and we hope to accelerate the growth as soon as we have stable working and production conditions, and then start to grow.
Okay, thank you for answers.
Yeah, and quick addition to that, that's why I also asked you the question before about social media. We think it's very relevant for us now to convert, and that's how we're also going to grow. It's converting the people that are using social media and that are saturated with all these apps that are just basically public and that are just mining their data, and convert all of these people into a healthy, a private, a mindful media. That's what we're all about, and that's where we see the growth and the opportunity.
Thanks for your elaboration. Got it. Thank you.
I have a question there. Can I ask it?
Go ahead.
Yeah, so are you thinking about, like, for example, Telegram now, with the increasing number of users that they have now, they are telling people, hey, it's super easy to move all of your chat history and all of your WhatsApp contacts with an instant click to Telegram. Have you thought about any quick integrations with the current social media platforms?
Yes, I can jump on. I've been doing all the product. Yes, we're trying to do as much integration as possible. In case you remember when TikTok first started and they were posting on Instagram, but then it would get redirected to the app. We're doing that. We're trying to see how we can have automatic upload from your camera roll to cookie jar so that you don't have to actually go in and upload anything, but you can accept it yay or nay right from the start, as well as Chrome extensions. So let's say, think of your cookie jar as your place for all of your favorite things. It doesn't have to start with just traditional photos and text and everything like that. If you're watching a YouTube video, Cesar, and you're browsing the web, just like saving to your own Dropbox, we are working on an extension where you can just say, add to your cookie jar, add to a cookie. Perfect. And this is because memories and what triggers different things for different people is completely relevant to you. So you can think of it as a more streamlined version of Dropbox. So we have much integration that we've been working on.
Yeah, Hans and the cookie jar team, thank you so much for the presentation. Right now, we will move on to the next startup. We have Cesar from Extratify. Yes, I will hand over to you.
Yeah, Zhenni, do you mind if I share my screen for the presentation? Like to share my slides? Is it possible? Or?
Yeah, we have the presentation. When you say next, we can. Oh, but you can also share yours.
Yeah, that will be amazing. Thank you so much. Are you seeing my screen now, I guess?
Yes, I can see your screen.
Okay, so hello everybody. My name is Cesar Suarez. I'm a co-founder of Certify. We are a technology company that supports the digital transformation when it comes to document management for all type of institutions. We have helped thousands of students to receive their diplomas in a digital way, and we are kind of like humanizing blockchain technology. What are the problems we deal with? Like in all administrative offices, like this is the context of education, the education sector first. All administrative offices in the education sector, they spend around 1/3 of their time doing repetitive tasks. Also, still more than 60% of education institutions are using paper certificates, which is related to a lack of security. And at the end, if people falsificate their documents, it will decrease their reputation. Then we also have a skills gap in the world, like the academic offer doesn't match the demand for jobs. So only around 9% of the education institutions only know what the 9% of the students are doing once they graduate. So they don't have any way of feedback to their academic offer. And also, very important that everybody knows about this problem is that everybody complains that we students and graduates, we don't have, or we deal with a slow and costly process to gather our academic documents. So Certify solve all of these problems. And the first one, the low productivity in the administrative office. We have an API for the issuance of digital certificates, and this comes with a high level of customization. For the paper certificates, we have digital certificates with blockchain technology, which also increases the visibility online of the institutions that are issuers. Then for the lack of data collection, every time a verifier verifies one of the documents, we collect their data and then we provide that data to the issuer. So then the university or the education institution knows who are interested in their graduates. So they can kind of like take decisions for their academic offer. Then for the student complaints, we offer the students a wallet to store, share, and request digital certificates completely for free. The products that we deal with is that Certify is a complete solution for document management. So we work with diplomas, digital budgets, contracts, and proofs, which are like high rotation documents in educational institutions. All of our documents, they come with digital signature, which make them legally compliant, automatic translation, QR codes, alphanumeric codes for centralized verification, blockchain, with Ethereum mainnet for decentralized verification, and multimedia customization for the digital budgets. Our documents are worldwide accepted because we fulfill like worldwide accepted standards, which are Blockcert, developed by the MIT, and open budgets. Our business model is simple. So we charge per packages of certificates. So it's number of certificates times the price. And then we also charge, depending on the high level of customization of the solution, an hourly rate times the number of hours involved in the solution. Certify is a full solution, like I told you, and that's like kind of like the uniqueness of Certify. Some companies might only offer contracts, some companies might only offer digital badges, but we are the complete document management solution for education sector. And our customer base is currently in LATAM and now in Sweden for the Nordic market. The market size of the issuance of digital certificates is around $1 million per year. Now we have customers in the private sector, public sector, nonprofit organizations, and in 2020 we issued more than 50,000 certificates with more than 120,000 verifications, which produced income of more than $70,000 US. The co-founder team is Felipe Arenas, top head UX designer from Colombia, Dani Suarez, CEO, with a lot of experience when it comes to tech startups, and me, Cesar Suarez, currently speaking. We are gonna grow Certified 10x in the next 18 months. We are gonna grow 10x the number of certificates issued, the number of verifications, and the sales. How are we gonna do that? Well, we have an EBITDA margin around 60%. We don't have any debt. We will have a self-service platform with a modern and formal look. Certify is currently, most of the customer base is in the education sector, but we have projects in another verticals in the car industry with like a car wallet, in the pet industry with digital wallets for pets. So we are helping vets to issue digital certificates. We are helping car sellers to issue digital certificates. And we are also doing MedTech certificates, like for example, coronavirus certificates, the vaccines, and also the tests. So we are currently working on a project with the Colombian government to provide all the digital certificates for the vaccinations in the country. Certify is also going to achieve this 10x because it's becoming a global recognized brand. We have a feed in New Zealand, we have a feed in Europe, and we have a feed in LATAM. When it comes to features, we have a lot of API integrations. We have the easiest way to request and do verifications with chat boxes. We have an excellent customer service integration, high level of customization. We have a solid strategy when it comes to sales and marketing. And we are rewriting now the source code. So then our CTO doesn't need to check the code all the time. So we are making the solution very scalable from a tech point of view. This is a bit of our certificates. They are in Japanese, as you can see here, Tatsu. And yes, thank you so much.
Yes, Tatsu, you can ask the question.
Thank you for your presentation. Wonderful. So this is a kind of technical question. So where is the private key?
The private key.
Yeah, user's customer's private key. You know, if you use blockchain technology, you need to use a private key, but it should be secure. So how do you save it?
We have our wallets. So we manage the wallets of our issuers. Yeah. So we are the ones who do that. Yeah.
So where's the wallet? Is it in the user's smartphone or just only browser?
Is currently in a browser. Yeah.
I see. So it means you saved your platform, saved your private key, customer's private key.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, exactly. So the thing is that our customers, they don't deal with the blockchain themselves. We deal with the blockchain with them. So we are the one putting the documents in the blockchain. Okay, so we are the one owning Ethereum, for example. They are not owning Ethereum. We own Ethereum on their names, and then we use the Ethereum. Yeah.
I see. I checked your website before. So in this case, what does decentralization mean?
So decentralization means that the documents that are issued are not only stored in the servers of the university or in the servers of Certify. They are actually all the documents that are issued. They are stored in the blockchain, in the Ethereum blockchain, which means that they don't have they will last forever each, and no one owns it. So the university doesn't own the certificate. The students actually are the ones who own the certificate, and it's easier to verify them. Yeah, it's an instant and pre-verification, right? When you have the info in the blockchain, you have quick access to it.
Okay, I see. In my understanding, maybe, yeah, how can I say? This is a kind of private chain. So I think the meaning of decentralization is a little bit different from it. I think you should clarify it in your homepage, maybe.
Yeah, decentralization, as we understand it, is just to not have a centralized storage of all the information that we deal with, but just
exactly. But you save your private chain on your website, and you manage all of blockchain networks, right? So decentralization means the manager should be decentralized. So, for example, Bitcoin, the Bitcoin miners, all of their miners are managed blockchain. So something like that. So it's a kind of different concept.
I get your point.
Yeah, guys, we are running out of time. We have to.
I'm sorry for technology discussion.
No problem. Yes, we will have one last startup presenting. Last but not least, Robert from Honest Box.
So that's me. Will you take care of the slides?
Yes, just a second.
Sure.
Yes, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So Robert Eliasson, CEO and founder of Honest Box, the first platform for unstaffed retailing. Slide, please. Slide, please. Thank you. So we want to make it possible for anyone to create their own unstaffed store, getting all the bells and whistles, all the functions and functionalities that you expect from such a platform at a very reasonable price. And we today have customers running stores that are like 60 times 60 times 20, and also have customers running stores that are 250 square meters. Most of them, of course, are somewhere in between. Slide, please. Like these three. So we have this convenience store up in Gothenburg. This container store is in a paddle court in Västerås. And the mini market is actually here, an e-commerce park in Helsingborg, just behind me. But it doesn't really matter how big it is or what they're selling. They're all using the same functionality. Slide, please. So we handle the identification, so you know your customer. We handle access control, so you can decide who can enter and when. The customer can shop using their phone or the checkout station. They can pay using credit card, Apple Pay, and here in Sweden, of course, Swish. And if the customer wants extra security, they can connect their camera systems and connect it to our platform. Slide, please. So we have been running for almost a year, and we have reached 40 customers running 110 stores across Sweden. So it's from Malmö in the south up to Moskosel up north. It's far north. And we have a lot of great customers, and here are a few. We're especially happy to welcome Unilever's Vassego into the family now in January. And next slide, please. And we, like many others, are charging a monthly fee since we're a SaaS. And we are charging today a flat fee of 50 euros per customer, per store. And we are looking at changing that, but not yet. Most customers also get a startup kit at 500 euros. Slide, please. So it's a popular space. So it's a very popular space, and there are many companies in it. None of them, however, are doing exactly what we are doing. So we are running into instant systems and most paddle courts and convenient offices, and vending machines, of course, are everywhere. But the stuff that we are doing, no one else is doing. And we can even see that some of these could be our customers instead. But we see that we are, no, not yet. Hang on. But we can see that we have our own small niche, and we think that we are slightly ahead, and we want to keep that edge. And that's the reason, slide, that we want to raise 200,000 euros at the 2 million euro valuation. And the valuation is based on 10x our estimated revenue for this year. And we need the money, slide, please, to basically increase sales. We want every sports center, every co-working space, every farmer shop, everyone should know about our technology, because that's our biggest limitation right now. And to hit 500 active stores this year and thousands next year. We also want to go outside of Sweden. And to do that, we realized that we need our own custom hardware that we have started to develop. And yeah, that also costs money. I won't go into why we need it because it's a long discussion, but that's also something we need money for. Slide, please. So hopefully you recognize the cool guy to the left, even though he's slightly younger. And my claim to fame within this space is that I opened the world's first unstaffed app-based store here in Sweden in 2015, way ahead of Amazon Go and BingoBox. And when I did that, I took help from my good old friend, Raymond Arvidsson. So when I started HonestBox, it felt really good to have him on board as a co-founder. Slide, please. So I wish that I could say that you could try this out at the ground, but you can't because they're not a customer yet. And we need salespeople, as I mentioned. But you could scan the QR code and get the feel for the customer experience. And with that, thank you. And thank you, Zhenni, for the slides. Right?
Yes, this is the end of the presentation, right?
Yes, I said thanks.
Yes,
sorry.
awesome.
Yes. End.
Yes. Tatsu, you can ask the questions.
Yeah, thank you for your presentation. Yeah, this kind of product is needed in this COVID-19 situation. Yeah, definitely it is good. So my question is, what kinds of technology do you use? So you covered a wide variety of products. So I couldn't see kind of technology stuff.
So the customer scans a QR code, and we use a local identification system here called Bank ID. So everything is happening on your phone. So you don't need an app. It's totally appless. You just scan the QR code, and then we start like an identification process. Then it's a web shop, and then you pay also on your phone. So it depends on what you mean with the tech stack. It's a .NET stack with a mobile front end.
I see. So yeah, it makes sense. And like Amazon, you have a kind of Amazon Go, like Amazon Go product, right?
Yeah.
So do you use camera image recognition or something like that?
So that's an interesting point. So when I did my first store in 2015, I actually did exactly that. But this is more of a low-cost solution so that more people can use it. So if you want to go with image recognition, I'm also a machine learning person, by the way. The problem is that you need to train models for each new product. And it can be like 1 billion different products. It takes a lot of time and costs a lot of money to do that. So we are basically removing everything that is not totally necessary to lower the price and make it available to everyone. So we have people selling hams and eggs in our stores, as well as paddle rackets. So it's like across the board, but we're trying to keep it very, very simple and avoid making like Amazon Go-like stores. I tried to actually do that in the US and China as well. It's very costly.
Yeah, that makes sense. I got it. Yeah, even Amazon. I went to New York, Amazon Go. Yeah, there's no staff store, but there is a kind of policeman.
Yes, exactly. It's like an
it's meaningless. Yeah, exactly. So that's why it's too costly. So yeah, it makes sense. Thank you for your answers.
Thank you.
Yeah, one last question. I'm wondering, how is the current discussion with the Unilever, right? Sorry.
Yeah. So Unilever is, you know Unilever, it's a huge company. Varsågod is one of their wholesalers here in Sweden. So they have like 800 million Swedish turnover, and they have bought a bunch of stores from us, fridges, that they are trying out right now.
Yeah, that's very good.
Yeah,
yes.
It is.
So, Tatsu, do you have any more questions? This is the end of the startup pitches. Do you have any comments?
Well, I enjoyed all of startup presentation. Yeah, these are great, and yeah, I could see kind of warm community in Malmo. Yeah, they commented and they tried to help each other. Yeah, that's a great community. I respect it. Thank you very much for having me.
And if the startups if the founders want to reach out to you, what is the best way to contact you?
Well, LinkedIn or Twitter. Yeah, LinkedIn. Yeah. Please request with your message. Just request without message. I cannot accept because there are tons of requests. So I need to distinguish between you and others. So please include your message when you request me on LinkedIn or Twitter. Yeah, just follow me Twitter. Yeah, just maybe DM is open. Yeah, there are 2 ways, but LinkedIn is better.
Yeah, I will share the information with the founders. And just any one final questions from any of the founders in the panel? Cool. Yes. Cool. I guess no more questions. And thank you guys for this event. And thank you for Tatsu joining us so that you get to know a little bit about the startups in Southern Sweden. And thank you for the amazing founders here present your startup ideas. Thank you, guys. So this will be at the end of the event, and we will send a summary of the event to everybody. Yes, and Tatsu, now you can go back to bed. I think it's midnight in Tokyo now.
Yeah, now midnight, over one night, but it's okay. It was so fun. Again, thank you for having me. Really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Yeah, thank you.